Right now, pre-owned watch prices are rising fast, but it's not hype pieces leading the charge. Fresh data shows the market quietly flipped, powered by a wave of dress watches and new Gen Z buyers. If resellers are winning, why do so many top models still lag? Because this rebound is a game of selection, not speculation, and what drives it may upend everything you thought about value. Two numbers are setting the tone for the luxury watch market right now. The Bloomberg Subdial Watch Index, which tracks the 50 most traded watches by transaction value, climbed 5.3% in the first half of 2025. That is the strongest performance since October 2023, and it is not just a blip. WatchCharts, a broader market index, also points to stabilization and recovery through 2025, with transaction volumes picking up and prices holding firmer than they have in years. These are not just anecdotal wins for a handful of models, they are signals that something structural is happening across the pre-owned market. But here is the catch. Indexes like these are built from baskets of references, each with its own story. A headline number might suggest the market is rising, but it can mask the fact that not every watch is participating in the rally. Subdial's index, for example, is heavily weighted toward high-value trades, while WatchCharts pulls in a wider range of brands and models. What both agree on is that the sharp correction of 2023 and 2024 has faded. The floor has held and prices are inching up again. This is measurable, not just mood. Still, anyone reading these indexes needs to remember they show averages, not guarantees. Some watches are driving the recovery, while others are still lagging behind. To understand where the real action is, you have to look beyond the indexes and into the categories and models fueling the rebound. Dress watches are having a moment, and it's not just nostalgia driving the trend. Gen Z buyers are changing the rules, with their dress watch purchases jumping 44% since 2018, far outpacing other age groups. For this new wave of collectors, elegance is the flex. The share of dress watches in Gen Z collections now stands at 12%, the highest of any demographic. The numbers are only half the story. Brands like Cartier have ridden this wave with precision. Cartier's share of Gen Z purchases has quadrupled in 7 years, rising from 1.7% to 6.8%. The Cartier tank, once the quiet classic, is suddenly everywhere, on the wrists of musicians, actors, and even NBA draft picks. When Timothée Chalamet wore a tank to the Oscars, resale searches spiked overnight. Anecdotes like these are not outliers. Social feeds are stacked with slim gold cases and Roman numerals, pushing the look from niche to mainstream. For Gen Z, a dress watch is not about boardrooms or black tie. It is about personal style and standing out from the crowd of steel sports watches. Even at the entry level, dress pieces are pulling in buyers. Nearly a quarter of dress watch sales now fall under 2,000 euros, while the high end is thriving too. This is not a passing fad. The surge in dress watches is lifting the entire pre-owned market, rewarding brands that bet on refinement over flash. The market is rewarding elegance again. The old playbook, chase the biggest, loudest sports model, no longer guarantees a win. Winners and losers are no longer moving in sync. 7 of the most watched models in the secondary market tell the story. Cartier's Ballon Bleu and Santos have gained ground, while the Rolex Datejust and Lady Datejust keep drawing steady bids. On the auction block, a rare Patek Philippe 1518 reached 14.2 million Swiss francs, about $17.6 million, at a November 2025 sale. It is a reminder that true vintage icons are still commanding top dollar. At the same time, mid-range steel sports models, once the darlings of the last boom, have slipped by an estimated 2%. That includes pieces like the Tudor Black Bay and certain Omega Seamasters, which now sit in reseller inventories longer, often at prices below their 2022 highs. Retail price jumps are changing the logic for resellers. Audemars Piguet lifted United States retail on the Royal Oak chronograph from $40,500 to $44,400 in a single year, a 9.6% increase. Rolex raised the Submariner date to $52,100, a jump of nearly 12%. These hikes push some buyers into the pre-owned space, but only for the most desirable references. The rest, especially common mid-tier sports watches, are left behind, with little organic demand to lift them. This is where selectivity comes in. Resellers are now scrutinizing what sits in their cases. High-performing models are snapped up quickly, while weaker performers drift or get discounted. The days of blanket gains are over. In today's market, the winners are obvious, and the gap between them and the underperformers is only getting wider. Three business forces are driving the current bounce in pre-owned watch prices. First, the holiday season always brings a surge in demand. Every year, November and December see a spike in both transaction volume and average selling prices as collectors and gift buyers compete for the best pieces. In late 2025, that seasonal lift arrived right on schedule, pushing prices off their post-correction lows and bringing fresh energy to the market. Second, the market is finally standing on solid ground after the sharp correction of 2023 and 2024. Prices for top brands dropped as much as 31% from the 2022 peak, but that drop created a new baseline. By early 2025, buyers and sellers could agree on fair value again. Instead of panic selling or wild speculation, the market moved into a phase of selective confidence. Iconic models and well-kept classics started to see real bids, while overhyped pieces settled into their true range. Third, retail price hikes across nearly every major brand are changing the math for buyers and resellers. In the US, Rolex raised retail prices by an average of 7% between late 2025 and early 2026. Audemars Piguet, Tudor, and others followed suit. These jumps, combined with new tariffs on Swiss imports, made brand new watches much more expensive almost overnight. For many buyers, the pre-owned market now looks like the smarter play, especially for models with strong collector demand or limited boutique access. If you want watch market coverage that cuts through the noise, subscribe to The Watch Business. I break down what the data is really saying so you can buy smarter and avoid the usual traps. Brands are no longer content to watch from the sidelines as their watches change hands for thousands above or below retail. In 2025, the industry's biggest names accelerated their push into certified pre-owned, rolling out branded authentication programs across more markets. Rolex, for example, expanded its certified pre-owned offering to authorized dealers worldwide, promising full-service histories and official guarantees. Cartier, Omega, and Audemars Piguet followed suit, each building their own certified pre-owned channels and digital authentication systems. The result is a secondary market that is more structured than ever. Buyers now see clear price baselines set by the brands themselves, and the wild swings between gray market highs and lows are starting to narrow. For sellers, official certified pre-owned channels mean higher confidence and less room for backdoor deals or questionable provenance. The days of the Wild West gray market are fading, replaced by a system where trust and transparency are becoming the new standard. Buyers navigating the 2026 market need a sharper playbook. First, check the condition. Original parts, recent service, and no hidden damage matter more than any headline price. Second, provenance is non-negotiable. A documented history and a trusted seller can mean the difference between a smart buy and regret. Third, compare recent transaction prices, not just listings. Ask how many watches actually sold at that level. Fourth, beware of dead stock. These are watches that look like bargains but keep sliding because no one really wants them. Looking ahead, 3 signals should stay on your watch list. 1. Whether dress watches keep their momentum. 2. How far brand-certified pre-owned programs expand. 3. If global economic pressure triggers another shift in demand. For more market breakdowns, subscribe and comment Index if you want a deep dive into the numbers behind the trends. Every price swing now signals a deeper shift. Brands and buyers are rewriting the rules in real time. As certified pre-owned expands and tariffs bite, the market gets more structured and less forgiving. In this new landscape, strategy matters more than hype. Choose wisely. Drop your thoughts below.